This episode of the CYF Podcast is brought to you by the Niagara Falls Ryerson Innovation Hub. Thank you so much for letting us use your amazing podcast studio located right here in downtown Niagara Falls. This episode is also brought to you by the Black Sheep Lounge, home of Black Sheep Roasters and some amazing local coffee. You can get 20% off your order using promo code CYF20 when you go visit their website, blacksheepniagara.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CYF Podcast, a show where we go behind the scenes to give you tips and tricks to help you create your future. If you're coming back here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm, and it helps amazing people like you keep what we're doing, thriving, and keeping the dream alive. And without further ado, I am so excited to introduce our next guest. You cannot put this man in a box at all by any means. He's a creator, he's an innovator, he's an artist, he's a skateboarder, and he's a serial entrepreneur. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Phil VanKleef, the creator and owner of Manor, to the CYF Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you so much for coming on here, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate the intro. That's pretty good.
That's great. I just thought of it. I was like, you know what? I want to make sure it's good because you do so many different things. So I just wanted to see. Okay, let's dive into the story. So I guess let's just dive into the story. Maybe like a little bit about who you are, where you grew up, and maybe kind of how you started Manor. I think that would be really great. It's voted Canada's #1 or one of the top scare attractions in the country.
We're going for the world, actually.
Yeah? Oh, fuck yeah. We're going for the world.
Yeah, no.
Let's do it.
I mean, Canada, that's good, but yeah, that's my game. Like, I'm after, like, let's go for Universal or something big, like, that's a whole thing. Like, that's my kind of mantra. Just think bigger. Just go big. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
That's what you got to do nowadays. It's, you got to get people's attention in such a saturated world. Like, everything's so saturated for it's all about getting attention. You know
absolutely. I mean? Let's go dive into the story of how you actually created Manor. How old were you? What was your thought process? Where is it located? The floor is yours.
So Manor, I started back when I was about 24. So we started that.
Carry the math, do the thing.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was like 13 years ago. That's what it was. So it maybe wasn't 20. It was somewhere around. And
this is 13th year anniversry coming up.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Is our 13th. So first year was a hayride, and this was like this massive loop around this, our RV park, and it was just way too long. People loved it, and I was like, how do we start up this? When I started, I was like, I had no idea what I was doing or where to go from.
Great.
I literally was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the skate park. We need people to run around. Who runs around? Skateboarders run around. I saw them on the road running around really quick, grabbing their boards. I was like, perfect. Let's start there. I'm like, hey guys, you guys want to make some money, run around, scare some people? And they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do this.
Totally, yeah.
And so we grabbed them all, did some tests and stuff like that, and that's how it started. Just like, just out of nowhere, pretty much. I just kind of. That was the hayride. The hayride was just too long. It must have been like a mile and a half, and each actor's running like a kilometer to scare people, and then switching masks and stuff like that. Because
they're getting a workout in, eh?
You don't have a budget in your early years to go big, so you're coming up with different creative ways to do it. So you had like one actor running set to set to set, and it was just I was one of those people, and I was like running around. I was just like. First year, I was like, got to the end of the season, I'm like,
good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
And then you look at how you did, you're like, damn, we broke even
Absolutely.
First year.
That's great. Congratulations. Yeah.
So I was like,
and
is
now,
that a good thing?
That's a great thing.
I didn't know. I was just like, I just wanted to do something funner for, Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Let's do something different.
Are you born and raised Niagara Falls too, as well? Yep.
Sweet. Yeah. Like I'm American, like my mom's side's on. That's why you see me in the States.
Right, yeah. Right. So you have your dual citizenship, so you can go back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, just freely. Wow.
I just got back from the States. Yeah, it was just
great.
A couple hours ago.
A couple hours ago?
Yeah.
That's why I asked. I'm like, are you in the country to do this? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah. No, I was like, oh, shit, I got to go to the podcast. I got to get back over the border.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just picking up some stuff for Manor, actually.
Sweet. So now, where did the passion from this, like, kind of, like, start? What made you decide to go one day, like, I'm going to do this?
Really, like...
Have you always been fascinated with the horror genre, or just like...
I just wanted, I wanted to do something more. Like I was more like, I was in business, and I was basically, my parents got divorced when I think it was back in '99. I started running the park, just I was thrown into it. Like my parents kind of went their separate ways, and I had to jump into the park. We were going to lose the park at the time, and it was a serious deal. Like it was going bankrupt at the time, and I was like, shit, this is, I'm a young kid. I think it was like 16, 17. I'm like, I gotta do something about this. Otherwise we're going to lose this. And my parents are in their own world going through this divorce, and they didn't even care in that moment of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when people go through that, and that was really rough for me. So I got right into the business world really young, like 16, and I was just thrown into it. I was doing accounting. I had to figure it all out. Like there was paperwork everywhere, and I just had to sort through it all out. Like how do we dig this park out of the hole? And within a year, by the time I was 17, I got it completely reversed. Like
wow.
All the bankrupt, flipped it around, got everything back on track. So I did that for a couple of years. Met my wife when I was about 18, 19, and I just got kind of bored.
Shout out Rhonda.
Shout out to Rhonda. And I was just kind of bored with, I was like, okay, I can do this. This is cool. Like I figured it out. I was like, this is cool, but like there's not enough action. I need more action. I like movies. I like, art and culture. I like all that stuff. Like how do you do that in Niagara Falls?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and with social media nowadays, it makes it a lot easier, but back then it was like, what do you do?
All word of mouth, or TV stuff, or different like connections with blogs, or there's a whole different can of worms back then. So your business kind of grew up in that transitional phase then, kind of like switching from a kind of like more of the traditional media focus now gearing towards social and whatnot. And you're pretty hands-on with, I want to say, with pretty much all aspects of the business, right?
Yeah.
Like you're hands-on with like everything.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's something I really have to get out of. How are we doing all right?
Yeah, could you move the mic maybe
Yeah.
a little bit, just because when you lean back it stops.
Oh, yeah. How's that?
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, like I do too much, man. Like, that's the problem. I do too much. And people that know me or people that meet me for the first time, they look and they're like, damn, that's, they're like, there's a lot of moving parts, man.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you do that?
So 13 years in the making.
Yeah.
What are you doing now? What are the different businesses and what do they do?
Yeah. So 13 years. So fast forward, now we're running Mayswood. We're running escape rooms, axe throwing. We got this laser tag, which is like, combat equipment. It's all realistic stuff that they do SWAT team training in. So it's cool as hell, man. Like we're doing really good. Like this new business, Mayswood, is doing as good as Haunt Manor.
Amazing.
And people don't even know it. People don't even like it's not even on everyone's radar. Like people come and see it and they're like, damn, we didn't even know this is here. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I just want to put something in the falls that's different than your everyday tourist stuff. Something cool. Like what would I want to go and do that's fun? That's what I look for, and that's what I try to put in.
And that's so interesting that you say that, because I'm a big believer in, is if you love what you're doing and you have such a genuine passion, people will feed off that energy and will be so excited for you or whatever that passion is. People just automatically like gravitate to it because it's so genuine and it's coming from yourself.
Yes.
Yes. So I think that's really great that all the stuff that you're doing, it's great. What do you have kind of next, like any new projects that are on the horizon that you're super excited about that you want to talk about a little bit at all?
Yeah, I literally was just talking to Jim about that actually. I was just saying I got on the phone, I was helping with one thing, but I was so pumped about it. I just told him the whole thing. I'm like,
great.
And this is like this big surprise I'm trying to keep in the package.
For sure. This will be this will be released in a little bit, by the way. Yeah, it won't be released.
It's all good. It's all good. And I was like, Rhonda, I don't want to tell anybody about this until it's done. Like I want this to be like a surprise. But like I kind of released, some photos of it. I kind of hinted at it a few times on social media, but it's literally a 250-foot tubing slide with 3 different runs with like artificial snow that works any time of year, with a conveyor belt that takes to the top, and It's got tubes that are single tubes, double tubes, quad tubes for your whole family.
No way.
It's
Is this
nuts.
going in the middle of the park, or
This is like going. You're gonna be like, where
where are you gonna put it?
Where are you gonna put that?
Yeah.
Every time people talk to me, they're like where are you putting? Where are you coming up with places to put all this stuff? I thought you built out, and like I covered every square inch of the park. There's no
dead space. Yeah.
No dead space. So you have to be creative. You have to like come up with, I had 10 different locations on where I was going to put it. And the only way for me to do it, I had to build a tunnel. I had to build it over a roadway and build like a tunnel that was tall enough that the hayride and everything could still get around
with everything,
and function. And so it literally,
That's wild.
it's on top of Haunt Manor basically. So,
Okay.
so you'll do Haunt Manor. You won't even see it until like you do the attraction and I light it up. Then you'll be like, damn, where'd that come from? It's just like literally 40 feet in the air. It's as tall as the barn.
No way.
It's probably going to be,
Very, very
it's
cool.
like sliding down that. Yeah.
Are you thinking about having that open to like just summertime, or like
So,
when are you planning
It's
for that kind of release?
specifically a Christmas time event. For
Very cool.
The month of December.
Yep.
It's another thing to do. It's a Christmas season. It's not going to conflict with Festival of Lights. It's not going to be anything like that. So I was always thinking for years, like, I got to do a Christmas event. And it's just something I wanted to do. I just didn't know. I didn't want to do a light show. I'm like, everyone's doing
Everyone's
a light
doing
show.
that. Yeah, it's been done here.
You know, it's been done. I'm not going to compete with the fall, like, the
Falls
city.
or any other ones that are. Yeah.
They probably got like $4 or $5 million into it with lights plus the falls, right? And it's free.
Yeah, of course.
So how do you
right?
compete with free? You can't.
And it's been around for years as well. Like it's just something that's built up.
40, 50 years
Yeah,
probably.
you know
right?
what I mean.
So
Yes,
how do you,
something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like compete with Walmart. Let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why it's an event. It'll have like a Santa's workshop walkthrough similar to Haunt Manor. So I literally built the buildings so that they're hybrid. So you can go in, it's a manor, but then it doubles up as a Christmas house. So you can walk through and it's interactive and you'll have presents and things like that. We can have actors if we want and
Have like elves and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Or like Santa's
yeah,
workshop. Man, that's cool.
it'll be cool. But all the Haunt Manor guys, like all the actors are like,
Oh, now we got to do this?
you're like, what? Fuck that. We're not doing this. Like,
Yeah.
like Christmas? No, fuck
Yeah.
Christmas. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's just something,
It's different. It's very,
Yeah.
very cool. I think that's going to be really interesting, man. I'm excited to see where that really takes you.
Yeah, it'll be different. It's going to be, it's fun, you
Yeah.
know? And it kind of, like I snowboard and I was like, where can I take that excitement and bring it into the business world as an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
where do you take that energy? Like I've done all that for so long. Like I've competed everything, but I was like, there's got to be a way to harness that enjoyment and love and then put it into business. How do you do that?
For sure.
Gary Vee talks about that.
All the time.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And like I don't follow him too much, but I saw him talking about that. I was like, yeah, that is true. And it's hard to do, man. Like,
So hard.
it's hard. Like it's, like you're an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I've been doing this now, like my own business now for almost 5 years. And I feel so blessed and so lucky to be able to do this kind of stuff. But also being a business owner, obviously, as you know, you have the flexibility to make your own schedule. And with doing that, going on tour with bands and stuff, like that's what I love to do. But sometimes it's so hard when you have all these clients that require so much of you to like talk with them or do these things. It's like, I remember times where I would be literally on stage and I would have like 3 clients like calling me. It's like, I'll be texting them like, hey, I'll get you right back like in like 20 minutes as soon as I get off the stage or whatever,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what it is.
it's part of the name of the game, right?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
No, literally, like I'm picking up packages in the States. I'm taking reservations.
Yeah.
Because like if you fire someone, you got to
Be able to
jump on
step-
and
yeah.
do that job, right? So
Yeah. And I was going to say, too, with all your experiences with Haunt Manor, you go really in depth in the actual, like, items and the stuff that you use there. Could you walk us through, like, a very unusual or weird experience of something that you've implemented into the Haunt Manor attractions that people may not know?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we that's true. That's a good point. We use a lot of creepy stuff. So
Yes.
we were on Salvage Kings. How we doing?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were on Salvage Kings recently, which is on Hulu.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a TV. Yeah, right.
It's huge. It's it's like History Network in
Yeah.
Canada. And yeah, so I'm friends with a guy. I didn't even know he's doing this TV show. And I'm like, I messaged him. I'm like, hey, do you got a morgue?
Hey, do you got a morgue?
Yeah. I was like,
Hey,
I really.
hey man, you got a morgue by chance?
Yeah. What a weird thing to ask, right? Like, no. One year I was like, hey, you got any like high security prison stuff or some, because I was building the, and that's how I met him. I was like, I found him he was selling off a whole prison, and I was like, I don't think I need a prison. What am I gonna do with a prison? I was like, a prison haunted house. That's creepy.
For sure.
So I built that, and so this last one was like, I just reached out to him. I was like, you got anything creepy? I need something good for this year to bring to the Haunt Manor fans and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, we got a morgue actually. I was like, oh my god, there's no way you got a morgue. I've been trying to find one for
I've been dying to see it.
You can't find morgues. Like nobody in the Halloween industry has a morgue in their haunted attraction, right?
Yeah.
Especially a real one. And he's like, but you got to do the show. And I'm like, what do you mean show?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you didn't know I'm in a show? I'm like, oh.
We'll add that to Phil VanKleef's Wikipedia page right there. Reality TV star.
Yeah. And then, so we did one episode, and we had to extract a morgue from it was kind of like a space like this, but the whole ceiling collapsed on top of the morgue, and we had to extract it out and remove the ceiling and use it was real. This was a reality TV show. So I brought my carpenter Rich, and we came in and we just sawed off parts of the ceiling, removed section by section, came in, and we had to do it with the morgue. So the morgue was like this whole wall freezer built into this other section, and then there's the table that they did all the operating on and stuff like that.
Very cool.
It was the most disgusting, creepiest thing you could ever do. I don't think anybody could beat this. So
sounds like it.
I've reached that pinnacle.
Yeah, that's the point.
In the Halloween building, I think it was disgusting. I don't even want to share on air what.
Yeah, what you
I had to clean off the base of that table.
I can only imagine. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What parts of the jail? Do you have actual physical cells of the jail and stuff in the Haunt Manor or
for the jail? Yeah, so the jail is a separate thing. That was the Dawn jail. So the morgue was one thing. The jail, Dawn jail, was the most condemned prison in Canada, and we ended up getting their high security jail cells that housed the final hangings in Canada. We got those cells. That was part of it, and that was this creepy thing, and that brought all these people from Toronto that knew about the history.
Wow.
There were inmates coming through. I swear there must have been gang members, because there was this weird gang fight thing that we had to.
That happened there
after hours.
Oh, okay. Wow.
This guy came in and he was just. I was like, I think we got to get rid of these guys.
What's going on? Yeah.
They have they have all the signs of
some sort of gangs
or
whatever. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, lots of interesting
stuff. Lots of interesting stuff. I feel like you've lived a pretty crazy life with all the random stuff that you do. But I don't want to say it's random, because it's all rooted in entertainment or providing value or attraction based too as well, So I was going to say
it is random though.
It's random.
It's completely random. My life is it's random, but it's it keeps me interested. You know what I mean? That's why I think life, you gotta do things that are fun too. You know what I mean?
Did you think that your 13-year-old self, looking back at yourself now, would say, this is what I'm going to be doing in the future?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all. No, I at 13, I wanted to be a pro skateboarder.
Sweet.
And I was competing, and I was skateboarding.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell us about that journey.
I was skateboarding 6 to 8 hours every single day, and I went to Ridley, and that's impossible.
Wow.
Yeah. My parents sent me to Ridley because I was getting in too much trouble with the friends I was hanging out with. So they didn't send me there they're just look, you're going to military school or you're going to Ridley, what's your choice? And I was like, I guess I'll go to Ridley. I don't know.
Wow.
And It was close. They got cadets and stuff there, but it's a
Yeah.
good school. It's good. Now I look
No, for
back at
sure.
it, it's a really good school. Yeah.
No, for sure. I had a couple friends that went to Ridley too, and they've all said amazing
Yeah.
things about it. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
that's insane.
It actually, okay, Ridley got me into using computers early. So when you went to Ridley, you had to have a laptop. So I was always on the computer.
Even back then.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Macs.
Yeah.
So I started with a Mac, and they got me into that because I was like, why do you guys have Macs? And they kind of went over that it was like the newest thing. It's
Gotta be the
great
future.
for artists and everything like that. And I was like, okay. So, and then we went through the whole evolution of every single Mac product that came out. We would get the latest one and you'd be on it, whether the laptops, the old G2s to what we have now.
Wow.
Right? Your MacBook Pros.
Very interesting.
So,
And where did that pivot from, like, I'm going to do skateboarding, like you're doing it 6 to 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
What was that like? When did you kind of like stop and more so kind of focus on like the business side? Is that when when your parents,
Exactly.
is that when that happened?
That's exactly
that was the
what,
point?
Yeah. I was in that world, and you know, I would have went to California. I went to California several times, so I was like, okay, I got to make a transition at some point. My friend Corey Wilson, he went to Stanford. He's actually a pro skateboarder, or has been. He's made it up. He's probably one of the best pro skateboarders in Canada. He was on the cover of Skateboarder Canada magazines regularly, like 3 times a year.
Wow.
Front cover,
Wow.
like crazy good. So he was. We used to always we skated everywhere, and we would go to Toronto, film all the time. So the transition was when that happened. We got the news that, you know, suddenly my parents are divorcing, and that just everything blew up. We're running this park. It's a big park. It's doing really well. They just disappeared out of my brother and my life.
It's just you and your brother for siblings and stuff. And he lives in California right
Now.
right
Yeah,
now,
he moved away probably like, you know, 4 or 5 years after that. It wasn't his thing, and so that got me into the business world. That gave me a taste, but it forced me in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like it wasn't planned out.
Super left field and unconventional
Yeah.
way of going about it.
Yeah,
right?
but I could have been, you know, like so many people in that moment would have been like, fuck it, you know.
Give up.
You know, there's people that would, you know, fuck it, I'm going to do drugs and
Yep.
get out of here, right?
100%.
How many people would do that? You know what I mean?
So many.
Right?
Yep.
And I was like, I'm not going to go that route. You know, I'm not going to run away from this. There's no reason to. It was my home, you know.
For sure. Did you ever have like a mentor figure or someone that you kind of leaned towards for business advice, or did you just kind of figure out everything on your own as you kind of went along?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do have a mentor, and it's Headless Horseman. His name is Michael Juby.
Okay.
He's the best. He's the best Halloween attraction. That's in my mind anywhere.
Ever. Okay.
Yeah, like you have the guys that host the Trans World trade show, which is the biggest Halloween trade show in the world. It's in St. Louis, Missouri every year. They're always touting them as the best. And
Have you ever been?
I go regularly. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So the story's kind of funny. I got into Halloween because I saw this video and it was like very Sweeney Todd. It was like a movie.
Cool.
And I love the story and I love the artistic effects. It wasn't just slasher. It was like there was a lot of special effects, really cool art. The backgrounds were really good, and I thought, you know, if I could do that, that would be amazing. This is crazy good. I could show you the video sometime.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It's very, very cool.
And I was like, so I went to the trade show and I was like, I'm going to learn how to do this. And I met this crew, but they're from Sleepy Hollow. Okay. This video was Headless Horseman. I was like, oh, these are the guys. They invited me out Sleepy Hollow to meet their whole crew, train, learn how to do
Stuff on the
everything
back end of like the traction and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They invited me out. And so August, I remember the summer, August, I went out. I made a trip. Olivia was just born. She was a baby. We drove all the way out. It was like 5-6 hours. And I ended up going to Headless Horseman. And they were like they were within 45 minutes of each other. I just thought they were the same people.
Right.
Headless Horseman, you know, lo and behold, is the best attraction anywhere. I didn't know he doesn't let anybody on the property. He's very like, they keep their secrets.
Wow.
You know, And,
So you were brought into the circle.
This is the funny thing. I pulled up on the property, middle of August. It's a really hot day. I get out. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go meet these guys. Wait here, Ron. Let me just go see if they're here because I couldn't reach them on the phone. So, but I didn't know I was calling Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
So he's probably like, who the fuck is this kid? You know? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
So I go on the property and I talk to the security that's there watching the property, and he's like, okay, I'll radio Mike. Michael comes out, this big guy. He's Secret Service. He's 75 now, years old. Big, tall guy. Comes out. He looks at me. He's got his sunglasses on. He's New York City detective, ex-Secret Service. He worked for the bomb squad. He's got like this history, and he's like a mounted police officer.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
So he's got this crazy, like he's intimidating.
Yeah, for sure. His accolades alone are just like, okay, yeah, whatever you say.
He's like, okay, imagine like this general, like 3-4-star general just walking out. That's kind of like his presence.
Right.
And he just starts walking out. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? And he looks at me. He's like, I don't know who you are. I've never seen you. You came from Canada. You can go back home to Canada. Whoa. He's like, I'm not letting you on this property. Leave. And I'm just like,
whoa, take it easy. I
was like, oh shit. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I thought I was speaking to you on the phone. Or I thought I was trying to reach you on the phone. I thought I talked to you when I was at Transworld. I made a mistake. I'll go home to Canada. I'm sorry. I brought my daughter and my wife here. I made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Wow.
And he looks, he's like, you brought your daughter all the way here? You drove 6 hours with your daughter to see me? I'm like, yeah. I thought this was sleep out. And he's like, I'll give you 40 minutes and then you need to get out of here.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. So he opened his gates. He's like, you got 40 minutes. And then from that point forward, I became like, it was like this funny thing in the Halloween industry.
Yeah.
He told all the big guys in the Halloween industry, like Randy Bates that worked with Bam Margera. Bam Margera's early CKY stuff was on a farm where they're doing the crash test derby stuff on the farm.
Yeah.
This is Bates Motel and Hayride in Philadelphia. And I talked to Bam Margera about this.
No way.
Yeah, I actually asked him. I was like, "Do you know Randy Bates?" Like he said he knows you. He's like, "Yeah. Me and him are good friends. Yeah, and we do all this stuff together."
No way. What was it like meeting him?
Yeah, he was at the remember he was at Dragonfly nightclub years.
Oh, probably that.
This is so long ago. It was
years ago.
Must have been. Yeah,
I'm not too sure. Yeah,
it was a long time ago. Yeah, that was.
Did you meet him there?
Yeah. Oh, I just waited in one of the lines because like I just heard on the radio. I was like, because I love Bam, right? Early Bam.
Yeah.
And I heard he was on at Dragonfly nightclub and he's just hanging out with people at the bar. I got there and it's like 100-person lineup to see him. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Seriously? Like, I'm not going to see Bam. Like,
yeah.
I was like, you know what?
What do you have to lose?
Yeah. So I just waited and then I just chatted with him.
Wow.
I was like, you want to go skate tomorrow? He's like, dude, I got bone spurs on my heels. I cannot skate.
Wow.
I was like, all right, let's go. So anyway.
Very cool story.
So that's what happened. That's how I so he let me in for 40 minutes. And that turned, his wife came out. This is crazy. Like we go out on they got these 6-wheel drive Gators and they had like 12 of them just for all their staff.
Yeah.
Just for a haunted attraction. And I hop on with their staff and they're going to show me the whole hayride and how you do everything. And his wife comes out, Nancy, who we're like, we love each other now. Like she's the best. She comes out. She's like, don't tell him any of our secrets inside the haunted houses. She yells this. And I'm like, wow.
Take it seriously.
This is crazy. Oh no. Wild. Like they are serious. Like they're the best. Right.
Wow.
So I got that tour. And then after that, it was like, they opened up more and I visit them every year since then and visited a bunch of other, big guys like Randy Bates. I met him. And
have you ever met Tom Savini?
Tom Savini.
I actually went to his house, man.
Did you really?
I went to his house and he had the fucking sword of Gladiator. Like in his house could be an entire museum.
He was at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
He came by our booth and stuff when we did the early Comic-Con when we were there.
Very cool.
And the guy one of the guys from the early Jason came by and
Nice.
yeah.
Very, very cool. It was
Yeah.
good. Yeah. I was gonna say, do you have anything that you do? What is your I guess to paraphrase the question, what does your daily routine kind of look like?
I get up early. So
Yeah, you're up really early.
So this is like, what time is it now? Like
it's like
yeah, so like
yeah.
I get up early, so I'm going to bed soon, so I can get up as early as I can. Like it's funny. Like I used to always stay up late. I get up early. You get so much done. I'm not like doing this just for a routine. I actually get up early. Like Rhonda stopped me from getting up at 4:30 in the morning because it was actually getting to me. I was like, that's hard, man. Like
wow.
The 4:30 routine is like hard, almost impossible. But I generally get up about 5 in the morning. Regularly.
What time do you go to bed usually?
9:30.
Yeah. Well, very cool. So it's getting close to your bedtime.
So, 9:30, 10:30, somewhere in that range. Like, if you do that, you can get so much done early in the morning. It's like another world. Like, everything's quiet. You're not getting phone calls.
Yeah.
Things are dark. It's quiet in the house. You don't have, if you got a kid, you don't have those, responsibilities where you have to, go places or do things. It's just you have your space of time, and then 7 in the morning rolls along, and then you can do something with your kid. You can just get to work. Spend time with your wife. And
then the chaos begins.
And the chaos begins.
Yeah.
Reservations, calls, things like that. Work. So that period of time between like 5 in the morning and 7 is a few hours. If you do that every day, you can get a lot of stuff done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just, it's a different.
There's just less distractions. You know what I mean? And you just like there's that time to do that. That's I completely agree with.
Like
with
how
that.
do you? That's what I work on the website in the morning. I'll update it. I don't do the websites, but I'll work on the artwork. I'll work on the the copy, things like that. And in your everyday work world, it can be distracting when you're working on sets and on Manor. You're working on finding different products, picking things up, the reservations. It's impossible to do some of the stuff.
100%. And Phil, brings me to my last question: is what's the best piece of advice you could give someone for them to help them create their future? Best piece of advice you can give to any aspiring entrepreneurs, anyone who wants to start their own business. The best piece of advice.
That's a good question. Best piece of advice, I would say, wow. Really, you have to disagree and be able to say, fuck it, in the face of any and all adversity, and be able to think big enough and push through that despite all and any barriers that get thrown at you.
I love that. That is sick. That's huge.
Is that good?
I love that. That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, that's incredible.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Seriously, like so much shit happened to me this year on the way to starting this Christmas event.
And even with COVID too, with
everything,
like
I had so much shit. And this year I would say, like, I bought a fucking waterfront house in Florida. That was fucking
amazing.
Impossible. That nobody thought that was gonna happen. Like I told people I'm gonna buy this. I'm buying this shit. This is going down.
Yeah.
Like my brother was like,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it was just like, you have to go through the actions, and you're going to, how they talk about, you always hear about that failure thing. That's not explained enough. There's like, you're going to fail along the way, and you got to be able to go through failure and stuff like that. It's like, I don't think you have to go through failure. I think you have to go through what I just said. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like the failure is like adversity, pushback. People are going to say no. People are going to turn you down, turn your back on you, not support you, things like that. And you get lonely during certain periods, but you have to have enough push through to be like, fuck it, enough, fuck it, to push through and keep your eye on that mountain. You know what I mean? Keep your eye on that mountain, and you're going to get that, but you got to wake up every morning fresh. And that's why I do that routine. I'm like, okay, 9:30, fuck, I pushed as hard as I can today. Like I had a rough day. I'm going to bed. I'm going to wake up fresh early,
kill it,
write down what I got to do. Write down my goals and go at it. And yeah.
And here we go. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man.
I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the CYF Podcast. We hope that this episode helps you create your future. Phil, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. What's the best place where people can check you out? Final plug.
Hauntmanor.com and Mayswood.com.
Mayswood.com and Hauntmanor.com. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for sticking around. We are clocking out. Peace!